Hello everyone, I invite you to every Wednesday cryptocurrency review. Let's start by checking the current situation on the BTC pair to USDT, taking into account the one-day interval. First, we will use the yellow line to mark the uptrend line above which the price is moving. Now we can move on to marking the places of support in the event of a correction. And here, in the first place, it is worth marking the support on which the price is currently based at $23,740. Then we have a strong support zone from $23,245 to $22,841. Below we have support at $22,199, and then $21,337. Looking the other way, in a similar way using the fib retracement tool, we can determine the places of resistance. First, we have resistance at $24,049. Once it is broken, we have a strong zone from $24,299 to $24,850. When the price moves up out of this zone, it will have strong resistance at $25,255. Please pay attention to the CHOP index, which indicates that the energy is slowly growing all the time. The MACD indicator shows the upward trend, while the RSI shows a visible rebound, which may give room for new increases. As the second chart in today's review, we'll be looking at ETH versus USDT on a 4-hour timeframe. First of all, with the yellow line we can mark the uptrend line from which the price has gone down. While with the blue lines we will mark the narrow channel of the local downtrend in which we are moving. Now let's move on to marking the places of support. We will use the fib retracement tool to mark the support. And as you can see, we have the first support at $1,603. Then we can mark the strong support zone from $1,570 to $1,522. When the price goes lower, we have the third support at $1,462. It is worth paying attention to the EMA cross 10 and 30, which indicate the place of confirmation of the downward trend change. Looking the other way, we can also mark the places where the price should encounter resistance on the way to increases. And here we have the first resistance at $1,630. The next resistance is at $1,652. Then we can mark the resistance zone from $1,669 to $1,711, and then the resistance at $1,743. The CHOP index indicates that most of the energy has been used. The MACD indicator indicates a local downtrend. On the other hand, on the RSI we see a definite rebound. We are moving at the lower end of the range, which may slow down further price declines. As the third one, we will check the SOL chart on a 4-hour interval. As we can see, the price is moving below the downtrend line. Let's start by marking the support spots for the price, and we see that we first have a support zone from $23.42 to $22.56, but if the price goes lower, we have another support at $21.31, then at $19.74. Looking the other way, we can similarly determine the places of resistance that the price has to face. And here we see that the first resistance is at $24.15, then we have resistance at $24.70, the next at $25.16. Once price breaks, it will move towards the strong resistance zone from $25.65 to $26.31, and then strong resistance at $27.14. It is worth paying attention to the EMA cross 10 and 30, which indicate the start of a downtrend. The CHOP index indicates that most of the energy has been consumed. The MACD indicates a local downtrend, while the RSI is moving in the lower part of the range, which may indicate that when the support zone holds, we may see a change in the trend. Last in today's chart, we will check the symbiotic chart against USDT, also on a 4-hour interval. First, we will use the yellow line to mark the local downtrend line under which the price is currently moving. Moving on, we can move on to marking support areas when we start a larger correction. And here we first have support at $1.35. But when the price goes lower, we still have a strong support zone from $1.30 to $1.23. Looking the other way, we see first resistance at $1.38, then second resistance at $1.42, next at $1.44, then a strong resistance zone from $1.47 to $1.51. Please look at the CHOP index, which indicates that most of the energy has been used. The MACD indicates that we are in a downtrend, while the RSI has touched the lower end of the range, which may indicate a temporary sideways trend. Technical analysis is provided by a third party, and for informational purposes only. It does not reflect the views of CryptoDaily, nor is it intended to be used as legal, tax, investment, or financial advice.